everything you were taught about money is wrong. Not most of it, not some of it, almost all of it. That sounds dramatic, but stick with me, because I'm going to prove it. The rules you grew up hearing, the ones from your parents, your teachers, your financial advisor, the personal finance books on the airport bookshelf, those rules were written for a world that no longer exists. That world ended sometime around 2020. In a 4-year span, we lived through a global pandemic, the largest money printing event in human history, a brutal inflation spike, the death of the bond market, a housing crisis nobody calls a crisis, the rise of artificial intelligence eating entire industries, and the quiet realization by an entire generation that the standard life path, college, job, house, retirement, doesn't add up anymore. The math no longer works, but here's the strange part. Most of the financial advice being given today is the same advice that was being given in 1995. Same rules, same talking points, same retirement calculators built on assumptions that no longer apply. In the first 2 videos on this channel, I broke down how we got here. The Federal Reserve, 1971. The slow motion dismantling of honest money. If you missed those, go watch them. Today we're doing something different. Today, I'm laying out the 7 new rules of money for a post-2020 world. Some of them will sound obvious once you hear them. Some of them will make you angry. And a few of them will probably contradict everything you've ever been told. But every single one of them is being followed right now, quietly, by the people who are actually building wealth while everyone else stays stuck. Welcome to the Money Heretic. Let's begin. Rule 1. The dollar is no longer a place to store value. For most of the 20th century, putting your money in a savings account was considered the safe move, the responsible move, the thing your grandfather did, and the thing your bank still tells you to do. That advice was written for a world where the dollar was tied to gold, where inflation was rare, where 1% in a savings account actually meant something. Today, your bank pays you maybe 4% in a so-called high-yield savings account. Sounds nice. Until you realize the real rate of inflation, not the official number, the actual cost of your groceries, your rent, your insurance, is running somewhere between 5 and 7%. The math is brutal. Every dollar you leave in a savings account is quietly losing purchasing power every single day. A savings account in 2026 isn't a place to store wealth. It's a place to lose it slowly. Cash is for short-term needs, maybe 6 months of expenses. After that, holding dollars is choosing to lose money. Which brings us to Rule 2. Rule 2: assets are the new savings account. The wealthy figured this out decades ago. The middle class is just starting to. Since 1971, when Nixon broke the dollar's tie to gold, asset prices have absolutely exploded. Let me put that in real numbers. Numbers you can feel. If you had invested $10,000 in the S&P 500 10 years ago, today it would be worth about $33,000. Triple your money. Pretty good. That same $10,000 in Amazon? About $71,000. 7 times your money. In Google? About $77,000. Almost 8 times. In Apple? Over $100,000. 10 times your money. And the best performing asset of the decade, by an absolutely insane margin, Bitcoin. That same $10,000 invested in Bitcoin 10 years ago would be worth over $4 million today. $4 million. Wages over that same decade? Adjusted for real inflation, they've gone backwards. So the new rule is simple. Own things, not dollars. Own a piece of the stock market through low-cost index funds. Own real estate if you can. Own Bitcoin, even just a small position. Own businesses, even tiny ones. Your own side business counts. The system is designed to inflate asset prices over time and erode the value of dollars over time. Stop fighting that current. Swim with it. Rule 3. Your degree is not the asset you were told it was. This one will sting for a lot of people, and I'm sorry. For decades, the formula was straightforward. Go to college, get a degree. The degree opens doors. The doors lead to a career. The career builds wealth. Simple. In 2026, the average American college graduate carries about $38,000 in student debt. Many carry much more. And the wage premium that degree used to provide, the gap between what college grads earn versus non-grads, has been steadily shrinking for over a decade. Meanwhile, AI is now performing tasks that mid-level white-collar workers were doing 5 years ago. Coding, writing, research, analysis, even some legal work. The very jobs that degrees were supposed to lead to are being automated faster than colleges can adapt their curriculum. The new rule isn't don't go to college. Sometimes college still makes sense for medicine, engineering, anything with a specific license path. The new rule is never assume a credential is the asset. The skill is the asset. The credential is just a wrapper. Skills that compound. Building things, writing well, understanding finance, working with AI instead of competing with it, learning how to sell. Those are the real assets. Not the piece of paper on your wall. Rule 4. AI is not a future threat. It's a current opportunity, and most people are sleeping through it. We are living through a technology shift on par with the printing press, the steam engine, and the internet, all happening in the span of about 3 years. But here's what most people are doing about it. Nothing. They're worried about it. They're posting about it on social media. They're hoping it goes away. Meanwhile, a small group of people is quietly using AI tools every single day. They're using it to start businesses they could never have started before, to write content, to code applications, to do the work of a small team, solo. This is the largest leverage opportunity for ordinary people since the internet. The rule is simple. Pick one AI tool. Learn it deeply. Use it to do something that earns income or builds an asset. Doesn't matter if you start small. Just start. 5 years from now, the world will be sharply divided between people who learned to work alongside AI and people who didn't. You decide which side of that line you want to be on. Rule 5. Diversification is no longer just across asset classes. It's across systems. Old school personal finance teaches you to diversify your investments. Some stocks, some bonds, some real estate. Spread the risk. That's still good advice, but it's no longer enough. Because the bigger risk in 2026 isn't that one asset class crashes. The bigger risk is that one system fails. The dollar fails. A bank fails. A government policy changes overnight. A geopolitical conflict freezes assets you thought were yours. The new diversification is across systems. Have money inside the traditional banking system. Have some outside it, in Bitcoin and physical assets and tangible things you actually possess. Have income from your job, but also have income from a side business, from investments, from something that's not tied to a single employer. Have skills that work in a digital economy, but also have skills that work if the digital economy has a bad day. This isn't paranoia. This is what billionaires call redundancy Now you know to do the same thing. Rule 6. Your network is worth more than your savings, especially right now. In a world where industries are being disrupted overnight, where job security is mostly an illusion, where opportunities appear and disappear faster than ever, who you know matters more than what you have in your bank account. Not in the slimy networking event sense. In the real sense. The people who survive and thrive through every economic dislocation in modern history are the people who have strong, real relationships with people in different industries, different income levels, different geographies. When something breaks, they hear about an opportunity. They get the warning. They know who to ask. They have somebody to call. Spend less time perfecting your investment allocation and more time being genuinely useful to other people. It's the highest return investment most people will ever make, and it doesn't show up on a brokerage statement. Rule 7. And this is the most important one. Stop expecting the system to take care of you. Social Security exists. So does Medicare. So do public pensions. So does the standard retire at 65 with a fully paid mortgage and 3 weeks of vacation a year model. But every one of those systems was designed for a world that no longer exists. They were built on assumptions about birth rates, about life expectancy, about wage growth, about returns on safe investments that simply don't hold anymore. This isn't a political statement, it's just math. Pensions worldwide carry an unfunded liability estimated at over $400 trillion. Social Security in the United States is projected to run short within the next decade. Healthcare costs continue to compound at multiples of wage growth. Maybe these systems get fixed. Maybe they don't. But betting your retirement on the politicians of the next 40 years, not making any catastrophic decisions, is, frankly, a bet I don't recommend. The new rule is, you are the system that takes care of you. Your assets, your skills, your network, your decisions. That's not pessimistic. That's empowering. You don't need anyone's permission to start. So those are the 7 rules. Let me say them back one more time, quickly. 1. The dollar is not a store of value. 2. Own assets, not dollars. 3. Skills are the asset, not credentials. 4. AI is the largest leverage opportunity since the internet. 5. Diversify across systems, not just assets. 6. Your network is worth more than your savings. 7. You are the system that takes care of you. If you read those carefully, you'll notice something. None of them are radical. None of them are extreme. They're all just honest. They're the rules that wealthy people have always followed quietly, while everyone else followed the rules they were given. The financial system wasn't built for you. You already knew that. The question now is what you do about it. Welcome to The Money Heretic. This channel is just getting started. If this video changed how you think about money even slightly, subscribe. There's a lot more coming. Your bank doesn't want you here.